Welcome to Nirmaya Care, where health meets understanding. This video was originally published on nirmayacare.com. For an uncensored, ad-free version of this video and other health education content, visit nirmayacare.com.
Hey everyone, so today we're diving into a term you've almost definitely heard, and maybe even felt, deep in your bones after one of those super long scrolling sessions, brain rot. We're going to break down what it is, how it's happening, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So, is your phone actually hacking your mind? Let's find out.
I mean, come on, does this sound familiar? It's that weird, almost out-of-body experience where your thumb just keeps on moving even when your brain is literally screaming at you to go to sleep. It's such a universal feeling these days, so trust me, you are not alone in this. But the good news, this feeling, it finally has a name. And that name is brain rot. It might have started out as just some internet slang, but it perfectly, and I mean perfectly, captures that feeling of mental exhaustion and brain fog you get from just this avalanche of low-quality content. Honestly, just think of it like a constant junk food diet, but for your brain. And get this isn't just some niche internet term anymore. Oh no, it's become so widespread, so real, that it was actually named the Oxford Word of the Year for 2024. That just shows you how deeply this idea has embedded itself into our everyday lives. Okay, so that brings us to the big question, right? What is actually happening inside our brains? Why is it so hard to just put the phone down? Well, let's get into the science of it all. I mean, we have all been there. You tell yourself, okay, just a quick 10-minute break. And then you blink, and suddenly an hour has completely vanished into that digital void. So how does that even happen? Well, it turns out that what feels like a break for your mind is actually a ton of work.
So the first big piece of this puzzle is something called cognitive overload. All right, imagine your brain is an air traffic controller. Now imagine your social media feed is like 100 planes trying to land all at once with no communication. This constant rapid-fire stream of totally disconnected information just overstimulates your neural pathways. So instead of resting, your brain is basically in this constant state of high alert. And that just completely exhausts you, leaving you feeling way more drained than when you started.
And then there's the main culprit, the dopamine loop. You can really think of it as a biological hack on your own brain. See, every new video, every single like, it gives your brain this tiny little hit of dopamine. That's the pleasure chemical. It's not some huge reward, right? It's just a small little taste that's just enough to make you crave another one. It is the exact same principle that makes a slot machine so insanely addictive. So here's how that cycle works, step by step. 1, you scroll to a short, fun video. 2, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine. 3, that tiny reward makes you crave more stimulation. 4, you keep scrolling. See? It's this powerful, self-perpetuating loop that is incredibly, incredibly hard to break with just willpower. Okay, and this right here is the crucial takeaway from all this. This is not a personal failing. You are not weak-willed. You are playing a game in what's called the attention economy, a system where super sophisticated algorithms are designed with one single goal: to capture and hold your attention for as long as humanly possible. They are, quite literally, rewiring your brain to crave this constant rapid-fire stimulation. All right, so now we kind of get the science behind the scroll, but what's the real impact on our day-to-day lives? Let's take a look at the hidden costs of all this constant digital consumption.
Yeah, the immediate effects are probably things you've already noticed in yourself, like a shorter attention span, right? It's suddenly hard to finish a book or even get through a whole movie without picking up your phone, or that persistent mental fog that just won't clear, forgetting little things more often. And of course, that low-grade anxiety that just hangs around after you've been doom scrolling through bad news.
To put it in the language of the internet itself, as one person said, your attention span is mewing, and it's not looking good. It's a funny way to phrase it for sure, but it points to a very real problem. Our ability to actually maintain deep focus is taking a massive hit. And this impact, it really does spread across all areas of our lives. Cognitively, you've got problems with focus and memory. Emotionally, it can crank up anxiety and lower your self-esteem. And then behaviorally, you see it in things like compulsive scrolling or even pulling back from social situations. It really is a wide-ranging problem. And, the long-term stakes could be even higher. Some pretty alarming research has started to link excessive screen time with actual physical changes in the brain,
like a thinning of the cerebral cortex. So this isn't just about feeling a little distracted anymore. This is about our fundamental brain health.
Okay, but listen, it is absolutely not all doom and gloom here. In fact, this is the most important part of this whole thing. This is not a permanent sentence. So, let's totally shift gears and talk about how we can actually fight back and get our focus back on track. So, this is probably the question on your mind right now, right? After all of this, is this mental fog even reversible? Can we actually get that clarity and that focus back?
The answer is a massive, definitive, resounding yes. Absolutely. Your brain is not some fixed, static thing. It is incredibly adaptable, and you have the power to change it for the better.
And the science that makes this all possible is called neuroplasticity. It's this incredible, mind-blowing ability of your brain to literally reorganize itself and form new connections based on what you do. Think about it. The very same mechanism that allowed the attention economy to train your brain for distraction, you can use it to retrain your brain for deep focus and calm.
So how do we do it? Well, it's really all about building a kind of defense system for your brain. And the strategies are actually pretty simple, but they are so powerful. This isn't about becoming a digital hermit and moving to the woods, okay? It's about finding balance. We're talking about things like prioritizing good sleep, setting real boundaries with your devices, moving your body, practicing actual mental rest, like mindfulness, and connecting with real people in the real world. You know, at the end of the day, this really isn't about deleting every single app from your phone. It's about making a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about choosing to be present in your own life, instead of just being a passive consumer of endless content. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. And look, it doesn't have to be some massive life overhaul, okay? Just think, what is one small, intentional step you can take today to reclaim just a tiny piece of your attention? What's one way you can choose being present over being passive? Because remember, the power to change is completely in your hands.